Matt Mills here. We're down here at the headquarters of Pride Toronto for the protest after the Pride Committee voted to ban the term Israeli apartheid from this year's Pride Parade. Let's check it out.
We don't want censorship. What do we want?
Free speech!
What do they want?
Censorship!
Are they fucked up?
Yeah!
I would like to invite to the microphone Tracy Sandlands, Executive Director, to make a statement.
Thank you for coming today. The past few months have been a difficult time for Pride Toronto dealing with this issue. If the motion specifically says if we have not rejected these words from the parade, then we will lose that funding and support. And support is not only the in-kind contribution, it is the permissions for the entire festival.
The city, not the queers! Fight the city, not the queers! Fight the city, not the queers!
Where Pride Toronto's festival is in a state of operational crisis. The Board of Directors of Pride Toronto voted to disallow the use of the term Israeli apartheid or any combination of this nation in the Pride Parade.
Well, this all started with a group called Queers Against Israeli Apartheid, which I'm a member of. And we heard on Friday that we had been banned. We know that this has been coming for a long time after they were pressured by the city, but also I would suggest internal pressure, specifically from Tracy Sandlands, the executive director, and Martin Gladstone. They decided that it would be better for all Pride goers if they just got rid of this group. As you see today, what we have is a broad coalition of people who are here for free speech, who say don't sanitize Pride, who say we don't want a Pride, that starts censoring. If it's this group now, what's it going to be next?
Pride! Queers against apartheid!
They say that there isn't going to be a festival if this funding gets cut, or they'll be in a really tough position. Do you think that's the case? If funding were cut, do you think there would just be no Pride?
The festival, I don't think Toronto's going to kill the festival over two words, because they're just words, and we're not in the land of the thought police. And secondly, I don't think it makes any sense to anybody fiscally, but even if it did, Pride would still go ahead. There would still be a parade, and I can guarantee you, if they say this group cannot march, that there will be some form of civil disobedience, and there will be some kind of demonstration, and they probably will have to be prepared to have other queers arrested in the name of censorship, which sort of is counter to the whole idea of what Pride is.
I think the community has said pretty clearly that it would step up to support Pride to help raise money. If funders really did cut off Pride, and Pride had exposed itself to a lot of debt on the assumption that it was going to get that money, wouldn't it be prudent to turn to the community and raise the money to get out of that situation if the need should arise?
Well, if the community has said that, then they haven't said it to us, firstly. Nobody has come to us and made that offer. Nobody has sent us a letter, sent it in writing. They may have said it on Facebook and places like that, but nobody has actually officially said that, to my knowledge, anyway.
Well, I wrote an editorial to that effect, and there were hundreds of people out on your front lawn just minutes ago sort of saying that that's maybe what you ought to think about doing.
Secondly, the group of people out on the front lawn does not constitute the entire community. Our community is a queer community of Toronto, and there are many more people than those who have come today. And we haven't had any kind of clear statement like that from any of them.
Who's Pride? Our Pride!
We're not censoring a group, we're censoring a term that has been considered inflammatory and may contravene the anti-discrimination policy of the city. That is what we're not allowing in the parade. We're allowing people are more than happy to show their support for people around the world. They're queer whites in Palestine, queer whites in Israel. That is not up for question right now. It's just that term.
Well, it'd be the same as if the city said to Pride, of course you can march and of course we'll fund you. You just can't use the word Pride. You can't censor people. That's censorship. Denying people the use of language is censorship. They can't dance around it. No one's fooled by this.
I think even more offensive about what Pride is doing is that it wants to have it both ways. It wants to censor, it wants to close down, but it's framing it all in this bizarre language of inclusivity. We're excluding you because we want to be inclusive.
What are you going to do on Parade Day yourself?
I'm going to be out there and make sure that the people who want to march are able to march. And if I have to walk around with a free speech sign, or if I have to stand in the middle of Yonge and Wellesley with a gag around my mouth with 200 people as the parade bears down on me and the cops come in, I'm going to do it because you know what? We're queers. We've done this from the very beginning. That's what we did to get these parades started, and the fact that they're being censored by other gay people now is completely horrifying.